Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Better Daily. My name is Ethan, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I have a question for you. Have you ever watched English movies, listened to English podcasts, or talked with English speakers and thought, I understand English, but when you try to speak, the words just disappear?
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma. It's great to be here with Ethan today. And yes, this is a very common problem for English learners around the world. Many people can understand English when they listen, but they feel nervous, slow, or afraid when they need to speak.
Exactly, Emma. And today, we are going to have an interesting conversation about this important topic: why you understand English but can't speak, and how to fix it.
In this conversation, we will discover why this happens, what mistakes stop people from speaking, and what simple steps can help you become more confident in English.
That's right. This is not a normal lesson. This is a real conversation between two people, so you can practice your English listening and learn natural ways to speak.
So, if you want to improve your English speaking skills, build confidence, and understand how to speak more naturally, stay with us until the end.
And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to Speak Better Daily for more English speaking and listening podcasts.
All right, Ethan, let's begin this important conversation.
Yes, Emma. Let's answer the question that many English learners have. Why can we understand English, but still can't speak it?
Thank you for joining us today. Before we talk about solutions, I want to start with something very important. Many English learners feel confused because they think, why can I understand English when someone is speaking, but when I want to answer, I don't know what to say? Maybe you have experienced this before. You are watching an English video and you understand the message. You are listening to a podcast and everything sounds clear. You can even read English articles and understand many sentences. But then someone asks you a simple question in English. Where are you from? What did you do today? What are your plans for the future? And suddenly, your mind becomes empty. You know the words. You have learned many vocabulary words. You have studied English for months or even years. But when it is time to speak, nothing comes out, and you start thinking, maybe my English is not good enough. Maybe I need to learn more grammar. Maybe I need thousands of more words before I can speak. But the truth is, the problem is usually not that you don't know enough English. The real problem is that your brain is trained to recognize English, but it is not trained to produce English. Let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine you are watching someone play football. You can understand the rules. You can watch professional players. You can know when someone makes a good move. But does that mean you can immediately play like a professional? Of course not. Understanding something and doing something are two different skills. The same thing happens with English. Listening is one skill. Speaking is another skill. When you listen, your brain only needs to recognize words and understand their meaning. But when you speak, your brain has to do many things at the same time. You have to choose the right words. You have to create sentences. You have to pronounce the words correctly. You have to think about grammar. And you have to do all of this quickly. That is why speaking feels difficult. Many learners spend most of their time only receiving English. They watch videos. They read books. They listen to songs. These activities are helpful, but they are not enough. Because speaking is like a muscle. If you never use it, it becomes weak. Think about going to the gym. Watching other people exercise can teach you many things, but it will not make your muscles stronger. You need practice. English speaking works the same way. You need to open your mouth and use English, even if you make mistakes, even if your sentences are not perfect, even if your pronunciation is not perfect, because mistakes are part of learning. Many people are afraid of speaking because they want to be perfect before they start.
Welcome back, everyone. In the first part of our conversation, Emma explained something very important: understanding English and speaking. English are two different skills. Many learners think, if I understand English, why can't I speak? And today, I want to continue this conversation by talking about some of the biggest reasons that stop people from speaking English confidently. Emma, one thing I notice is that many English learners are actually better than they think. They know many words, they understand conversations, and they can follow English content online. But when they need to speak, they suddenly lose confidence. Why do you think this happens? One of the biggest reasons is fear. Many people are afraid of making mistakes. They worry. What if my pronunciation is wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if I use the wrong grammar? What if they don't understand me? Because of this fear, they choose silence instead of practice. But here is something every English learner needs to understand. You cannot improve a skill that you never practice. Imagine a child learning their first language. When children start speaking, they don't create perfect sentences. They make mistakes every day. They say wrong words. They pronounce things incorrectly. They make grammar mistakes. But nobody tells them, stop speaking until you become perfect. They keep practicing, and slowly they improve. Learning English should be the same. Mistakes are not proof that you are bad at English. Mistakes are proof that you are practicing English. Another big problem is that many learners focus too much on learning and not enough on using. They spend hours memorizing vocabulary lists. They study grammar rules again and again. They watch many English lessons. Of course, these things are useful. But if you never use the language, your speaking ability will not grow. Knowing a word is different from being able to use that word naturally. For example, you might know the word improve. You understand its meaning. You can recognize it when you hear it. But can you use it in a real conversation? Can you say, I want to improve my English speaking skills? Can you create another sentence with it? That is the difference between passive knowledge and active knowledge. Passive knowledge means you understand something. Active knowledge means you can use it. And speaking requires active knowledge. Another reason many people struggle is because they don't practice speaking regularly. Some learners practice English once a week or only when they have a class. But speaking is like any other skill. It needs consistency. You don't become a great musician by playing an instrument once a month. In the next episode, Emma will share practical techniques that can help you train your brain to speak English faster and more naturally. So stay with us, because we are going to continue this important conversation.
Welcome back, everyone, to Speak Better Daily. I'm happy you're still with us because today we are going deeper into one of the biggest challenges English learners face. Why do you understand English, but still cannot speak confidently? In the previous episodes, we talked about fear, lack of practice, and the difference between knowing English and using English. Today, I want to talk about how you can train your brain to speak English more naturally. Many learners spend a lot of time studying English. They learn vocabulary, grammar, and expressions, but they don't create a habit of speaking. That is why they understand English, but speaking feels difficult. When you speak, your brain needs to create sentences quickly. If you always translate from your first language, speaking becomes slow and stressful. For example, someone asks, "What did you do yesterday?" A confident speaker can answer quickly, "I went to work, met my friends, and watched a movie." But many learners start thinking, "How do I say this in English? Is my grammar correct? Am I pronouncing this word correctly?" And because they think too much, they lose confidence. The solution is to train yourself to think in English. You don't need complicated sentences. Start with simple daily thoughts. I'm making breakfast. I am going to school. I am feeling tired today. These small sentences help your brain connect your daily life with English. Another powerful method is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to an English speaker and repeating what they say. You copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, and the way they speak. For example, I want to improve my English speaking skills. Listen, repeat, and practice. This helps your ears and your mouth work together. Another important tip is learning phrases instead of only single words. Knowing a word is helpful, but knowing how to use it in a sentence is better. For example, instead of only learning the word opportunity, learn, "I had an opportunity to learn something new." This makes speaking faster because your brain remembers complete ideas. Finally, never compare your English journey with someone else's. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner. They also made mistakes. They also felt nervous. The difference is that they continued practicing. So, here is a simple challenge. Spend 10 minutes every day speaking English. Talk about your day. Talk about your goals. Talk about your favorite things. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Start speaking and your confidence will grow. Remember, the more you speak, the easier speaking becomes. In the next episode, Ethan will share a practical daily plan to help you turn your English understanding into real speaking ability. Stay with us because we're getting closer to the solution.
Welcome back, everyone, to Speak Better Daily. In the previous episodes, we discovered why many English learners understand English but struggle to speak. We talked about fear, lack of practice, and how to train your brain. Now, the most important question is, how can you actually improve your English speaking skills? The answer is simple: create a daily speaking habit. Many learners wait for the perfect time to practice English. They say, "I will practice when my English gets better. I will speak when I know more words." But the truth is, your English gets better because you practice speaking. You don't need hours every day. Even 15 minutes of focused practice can make a big difference. Here is a simple routine. First, listen to English for a few minutes. Listen to conversations, podcasts, or videos. Pay attention to how people pronounce words and create sentences. Second, repeat what you hear. Don't just listen silently. Use your voice. Repeating helps your brain and mouth become comfortable with English. Third, speak by yourself. Talk about your day, your plans, or your opinions. For example, today I learned something new. I want to improve my English. My goal is to speak confidently. These simple sentences build your speaking ability. Another important thing is recording yourself. When you record your voice, you can hear your mistakes and notice what you need to improve. Don't be embarrassed by mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. Many people stop themselves because they want perfect English. But remember, communication is more important than perfection. You don't need difficult words to be a good speaker. You need clear ideas and confidence. So start small, practice every day, and be patient with yourself. Every sentence you speak today is building a better English speaker tomorrow. In the final episode, Emma will share the most important message in the final steps to help you start speaking English with confidence. Stay with us, because we are almost at the end of this journey.
Welcome back, everyone, to Speak Better Daily. This is the final episode of our conversation, and today we are going to bring everything together throughout this podcast. We discovered why many people understand English but cannot speak confidently. The reason is not because they are unable to learn English. The reason is that speaking needs practice. You can listen to English every day and understand many words, but if you don't practice speaking, your brain will not become comfortable creating sentences. Speaking is a skill, and every skill improves through action. Remember this. Don't wait until you are confident to speak English. Speak English to become confident. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They worry about grammar. They worry about pronunciation. They worry about what other people will think. But mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. They also made mistakes, but they continued practicing. The most important thing is consistency. Practice a little every day. Listen to English. Repeat sentences. Learn useful phrases. Speak about your daily life. Step by step, English will become easier and more natural. Don't compare your journey with others. Everyone learns at a different speed. Your goal is not to become perfect overnight. Your goal is to improve a little every day. So today, take action. Speak for 5 minutes. Learn one new phrase. Listen to one English conversation. Small actions create big results. Thank you for joining us in this important conversation. We hope this podcast helps you understand why you can understand English but struggle to speak, and how you can start changing that. Keep learning, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep speaking English.
Thank you so much for watching and being part of this conversation.
If you enjoyed this episode and want to improve your English speaking and listening skills,
Don't forget to subscribe to Speak Better Daily and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next English podcast.
keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking English with confidence. We'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.